Homework 28, we are going to do a lot of finding solutions either for an interval or continuously when we have an equation. This one says find all the solutions of the equation in the interval between 0 and 2 pi. Notice we're including the 0, but we're not including 2 pi. 0 and 2 pi are really the same place on your circle, right? And so what we want to do is solve our equation for sine, cosine, tangent, whatever it may be, and then we're going to use our handy-dandy table that we've used a whole lot of times and look up where's the cosine equal to that value between our 0 and our 360. So if I go back here, first one here says cosine of theta minus 1 equals negative 1. To solve it, I'm just going to add 1. So I'm looking for where is the cosine of theta equal to 0, because negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So now I'm going to look back at my other sheet. So if I look down my list at cosine, where is it equal to 0? I see it's equal to 0 at pi over 2 and also at 3 pi over 2. Now normally cosine, sine, secant, and cosecant have a period of 2 pi. And so normally I'm going to have that, since cosine is positive in 2 quadrants, 2 different answers for my answers, which is what I have there. And so that's all I'm going to do. Pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, and I'm just going to have those 2 solutions then. Number 2, if I solve this one, sine of x plus 1 equals 0, I'd have to subtract my 1. So I'm looking for where's the sine of x equals negative 1. So again, I'm going to go back and look at my table. And so looking at my sine, where is my sine equal to negative 1? There's only one spot that I see that my sine is equal to negative 1, which is at 3 pi over 2. So that's going to be my only answer, 3 pi over 2. Now I believe sometimes on your note sheets I use the one with the circle where the cosine was the first value and the sine was the second value. So if you have that one handy, that one also works. Probably just as easy to use the big table and look them up because that has sine, cosine, tangent, and all of them. These first ones are only going to have sine and cosine, so when I originally did the note sheets, I used the circle one that just had sine and cosine, but this one probably is just as easy to use because we're going to use it on a whole bunch of them anyway. Going back over here to problem number 3, I've got to solve that one for sine. So first of all, I'm going to add my 1. 2 sine of theta equals 1, dividing by my 2, sine of theta equals 1/2. So again, I'm just going to pull out my sheet and look on my sheet for where my sine is equal to 1/2. Pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6 would be my 2 values. And so that's all I'm going to do with that one. Solve my equation for sine or cosine and then look up in my tables which angles that would correspond to. Again, this is going to be in radian measures, so make sure you're using the radians, not the degrees, when you put your answer in.